I cannot remember other realms.
If I mention from the realm where the suffering is the strongest, then it will be the realm of incessant suffering, and the realm of hungry ghost, the realm of animals, the realm of perpetual combat, the realm of human beings, and the realm of celestial beings. So last time I explained that these realms exist in this world, in this human world. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It is because our karma creates the world and we live in this world. So if you are always behaving like animal, even though you are human, your behavior is like animal and you create karma which resemble that of animals, then you create the realm of animals in this world and you live in that world. If somebody holds grudge or hatred toward other people and always feeling hatred and animosity, always thinking about revenge, then what kind of realm does this person live?
Perpetual combat.
Exactly. Unfortunately, there are such countries in this world. People are always having battle, always fighting. And even children are involved in the battle. That's really sad. So once such revenge starts, that repetition of revenge continues. If one's family members killed by his enemy, then he will surely take revenge to the enemy. And let's say he could kill the enemy. Then the children of the enemy will take revenge again. The vicious cycle starts and never ends. Revenge continues forever. So this kind of vicious cycle is happening in many parts of this world. So in Buddhism, there's no such concept of revenge. We should not take revenge. In almost 900 years ago in Japan, there was a great master of Buddhism. His name is Honen. Since he was a child, he was very smart. And his father was a samurai warrior. And his father had an enemy. Like there were two clans. Do you know clan?
Yeah, people who live together in the same place.
So there were two clans, and they were rivals and competing with each other. They developed animosity to each other. So especially samurai warriors always fought with each other over their territory. And one day, Honen's father was assaulted by his enemy in the middle of the night. And unfortunately, he was assassinated. And Honen, he was almost 9 or 10 years old. And he went to his father's bed because he was killed while sleeping. Just before his father passed away, Honen told him, "Father, I will surely take revenge for you." And the father said, maybe he learned Buddhism before. The father said, "Forget about revenge. You don't need to do that. It is very sad that I was killed by my enemy, but if you take revenge, your enemy will take revenge. The children of your enemy will take revenge too. And this cycle will never end. So don't do that. Instead, become a Buddhist priest and spread peace to the world." So Honen kept this promise, and later he became a great priest of Buddhism. Once such revenge starts, our anger will never stop. So in Buddhism, there's no such concept of revenge. But unfortunately, there are such realm of perpetual combat in this world. So, because it exists in this world, it will exist after we die too. That's what Buddha said.
Excuse me, can you repeat the last sentence?
Because such world exists in this world, such world will exist in the afterlife, after we die, in the next world. Because our karma remains. Our karma turns to energy and remain forever. And then our karma creates a world. This mechanism doesn't change. We always create our world with our karma. This is the basic principle. So, do you know silkworm?
Yeah, a kind of worm that can change to butterfly.
Yes. And when they are infant, when they were babies, they were worm. So their appearance is not so beautiful. Once they become butterfly or moth, then it's a little more beautiful. If it's butterfly, that's very beautiful. When they are baby, they are like just a worm. Before they transform into an adult, they spend some time in a cocoon. Do you know cocoon?
I don't know.
It's like a small egg made of thread.
Yeah.
So they make such cocoon, they spit thread from their mouth. So thread come out from their mouth, and they create such small round shape shelter. It's like a shelter. They surround their body with cocoon, and they live in that cocoon. So it just looks like an analogy. We create our world with our karma. And silkworm create their world, which is the shelter, cocoon, with their thread. Thread come out from their mouth. And then they live in that cocoon for a short period of time. And once they create that shelter or cocoon, they have to stay there. So once they created the cocoon, they have to live in that cocoon. Even if they want to get out of the cocoon, it's difficult or it's impossible. They can't get out until they become an adult. So when people want to take silk, silk is very important fabric to make clothes or socks or ties. They use silk. When they want to take silk, they boil the cocoon. Did you know that?
I don't know about that.
So they collect many cocoons and then they put them in a hot water and boil them. And then, little by little, they take the silk from those cocoons. So of course, the worm inside the cocoons have to die in the cocoon. It's very cruel, right?
Right.
But this is what they do when they produce silk. So when they are being boiled in the hot water, the silkworm inside the cocoon must be shouting, "Oh, it's hot, it's hot. I want to get out." But they can't. So when those cocoons are being boiled in hot water, the worm inside are suffering. They must be shouting, "Oh, it's hot, it's hot. I want to get out. Please." But they can't. This is how we create our world and we suffer in that world. Nobody else created that world. The worm himself created the world. And he lives there and he is confined in the cocoon, like us who are confined in our houses. We are like a silkworm, confined in a small place and suffering inside. So this is the exact analogy that describes human suffering. We create our world and we live in there, and then we suffer because of our own karma. This is what the Buddha said. So the important point here is the worm who created the world with his own silk. Silk came from his body. So this is the cause of worm's suffering. And of course, human being boiled the cocoon. That's why the silkworm has to suffer. So human being in this case is the condition. Human being is not the cause. Do you understand the relation between cause and condition?
No, unfortunately.
I explained the law of cause and effect. This law explains that all the effects are created by their causes. Good causes bring good effects. Bad causes brings about bad effects. But precisely speaking, cause alone does not bring about the effect. Condition is very important. When the cause is united with a certain condition, effect will arise for the first time. If I use an analogy, let's say you want to have a beautiful flower in your garden, so you buy some seeds of flowers, and then you plant those seeds in your garden, and then after 2 months you will have beautiful flowers. In this case, the flowers are the effects, and the seeds are the cause. So cause bring about the effect of beautiful flowers. But if you just place the seeds on the table, seeds will not grow, right?
Right.
You have to plant the seeds in the soil. Yeah. Otherwise, seed will just remain as they are, no change. They don't grow. So in this case, the soil is the condition. Not only the soil, but the seeds need water and nutrition and the sunlight and oxygen. So there are many important conditions. When the seeds are united with those conditions, for the first time seeds start germinating and eventually flowers will bloom. So cause alone will not bring about the effect. When the cause is united with a certain condition, for the first time the effect will occur. So precisely speaking, this is called the law of cause, condition, and effect. So when things happen, there's always cause and condition. So in the case of silkworm, the silkworm had the cause of its suffering, which is the silk that came out from his body. And the condition is human being. Human being boiled the cocoon, unfortunately. Yeah. I feel pity for silkworm. So when we wear clothes made of silk, we have to be grateful about those silkworms. They sacrificed their life, and then we are receiving benefit from them. So why I explain this cause, condition, and effect, which is when we have bad effect, there are two factors, cause and condition. There's always cause and condition. Whether good or bad, always cause and condition. But the law of cause and effect teaches us that when we have an effect, we had the cause. That's why we have the effect. And condition comes from somewhere else. Do you understand this relation?
When people do good action, condition is necessary in order to lead to good result.
Yes. It's like I explained with the analogy of seed. Even if you have a lot of good seeds, but these seeds are not planted in the soil, they are just on the table, then they don't start sprouting. They don't sprout because conditions are missing. So even if you are doing good deeds, maybe sometimes you don't receive good effects so immediately. That's because conditions are missing. But you don't need to worry too much. All you have to do is just wait. Then, in the future, we don't know how long we have to wait, but surely someday you will receive good effects. There's no doubt about it. Eventually, conditions will come and get united with the cause. Bad causes too, if you do bad deeds. But sometimes you don't receive bad effects so soon. But it doesn't mean you can get away from bad effects. You can't get away from bad effects because you already created bad karma. So eventually you have to have the consequences. So nobody can get away from their bad consequences once they created bad karma. So this is a very strict part of the law of cause and effect. It's very strict, I understand. But it is not Buddha who created such a law. This law just exists. That's all. Nobody created that natural law in which seeds will grow and bear fruits. It's the law which has been existing since ages ago, much long before Buddha was born, maybe since the Big Bang or since the beginning of history. We don't know, but it's the law that operates like clockwork. So, going back to the analogy of a silkworm, in this case, silk was the cause, and human being is the condition. And they are combined, united, and then silkworm had to suffer, unfortunately. Anyway, this is just an analogy which explains how we encounter misfortune. But there's good news. We are living in this human world. Yeah, we belong to human being, Homo sapiens, and we live in this world, human world. Human world suffering is not so big compared to other realms. Compared with the realm of incessant suffering or the realm of hungry ghosts, the world of hungry ghosts is painful too, because they can't eat and drink. They are always hungry and starving, and it's almost they're on the brink of dying from hunger. The pain of hunger is very strong. That's what I heard. I haven't experienced such a severe hunger, but hunger is so painful. So when you become very hungry, you become angry. That's what is called hungry. Getting hungry is not so good, but people have to suffer from hunger in the realm of hungry ghost. So compared with this world, the human realm is very full of blessing. So we should be very grateful about being alive in the realm of human being. It's a big blessing. Buddha said we should be very grateful. Even though we have some bad karma, we don't have so much bad conditions in this world. So as a result, we don't have so much bad effects. We don't have so much suffering in this realm. So this is what we should be very grateful. Yeah. And the realm of animal, I think you said you have some pets. You have dog or cat?
Dogs.
Dogs, yeah. So they live in the realm of animals. Sometimes they look very peaceful. They look comfortable. Some people envy those peaceful cats or dogs, because sometimes they suffer in this world, people suffer. And then they wish, oh, I wish I could have been born as a cat, and I'll be much happier. They might think so. But actually, dogs and cats are always full of fears. They have a lot of fears. And they just live to satisfy their desires. All they can think about is how they can satisfy their desires. That's all. So they have to suffer a lot. We are now in the realm of human being, but long time ago we must have been born as cat or a dog. And that's why we can communicate with dog or cats, because we used to be one of them. So in Buddhism, there's no discrimination between animals and human beings. No discrimination. Because life has same root. So we are equal. Human being and animal, we are completely equal. Buddha didn't say cows or pigs or fish were born in order to be eaten by a human being. Buddha didn't say that. So all lives are equal. So are you following?
Yeah, I'm following.
Very good.
I would like to ask you a question. In the realm of human being, people's action is cause. And what is the condition in human beings real?
Very good question. There are many kinds of conditions. Usually, other people become our condition. Or the society can be the condition. Or your family members, the circumstance in your house, or your sibling can be your condition, or your school can be your condition, or the country you were born can be the condition, or the gender can be your condition, or your own action can be your future condition. So what you do today can be the condition for you tomorrow or next month or next year. You can create your own condition by yourself. So in this way, we can shape our future. Our condition and cause will bring about the effect. So this can be a little complicated. The more you listen to the teaching, you will deepen your understanding. So this topic will continue next week.